Hello, beach friends. You ever get the feeling you just really want to see something different? I love where I live and I love my local beaches in Southwest Florida, but I was itching to see and experience something new. So I decided to make a 2-day adventure for myself over here in Southeast Florida, and today we're going to be checking out Coral Cove Park. To the north is Blowing Rocks, and we'll be checking that out as well. And while it's stunningly beautiful, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for beach treasures. So I'm going to be scouring the sands to see what kind of seaside surprises I can find. Now, for me, this is going to be extra fun because we are on the East Coast, and so there are so many shells over here I don't get to see all the time. So even the common shells will delight me. Speaking of delightful, look at this reveal. Yeah, I don't get to do this over on the west coast of Florida. Well, not really elevation, but the entrance on the beach is way up here. So we're going to go up and over the dune and down and see what we can find. Now, I did want to go that way, but there's a couple people there, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go the other way. I kind of tend to eschew people and crowds, really. Okay, so we're going to start with a lady-in-waiting Venus clam. Now, I can find those over on my side of the state, but they're just kind of swell. So are the bittersweet clams. Those are swell too. That one's broken. Yeah, we're going to hold on to. Now, I do love them. I promise I won't show you the entire video, just the really kind of cool ones, hopefully. Because again, I don't get to see them a lot, so I just think they're so fun. I know they're really common, but I think they're great, and I do look forward to seeing them when I come over here. So those are spectral bittersweet clams. I probably won't spend too much more time on them. We'll see what else is here. Now there's some opportunities. I see the high rack line up there. We kind of have a lot of stuff kind of like smattered in the middle here. And then we could go in the water. So we're just going to have to kind of see how this plays out. I'm very excited. Let's see what is here. Yes! This is what I'm talking about. I don't ever get to see this. This is an Imperial Venus clam. Super duper cool. Also called a wedding cake shell. Isn't that fun? It's really thick, hearty shell. I don't normally get to find those, so I think that's just great. And hopefully one of many outstanding specimens that we're going to get to see today. So if you're ready to see what all is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. So super excited to be here. This is actually my second stop of the day. Earlier in the day, I had stopped at a different beach and I recorded a video that I showed last Sunday. So once I left that location, I came over to here. So I'm still kind of buzzing from this morning, and I don't know, my favorite place to shell is kind of right in this area here, but this looks like an ankle breaker, so I don't think I will be in that swash, but I just got here. We're just gonna have to see how the day goes. Now the tide is going out and it is a lovely 78 degrees. So as far as I'm concerned, everything is perfect. This is a cut ribbed arc, one of many different arcs. Arcs are a big family of seashells. And this is a cut ribbed arc. Isn't it pretty? They get about that big. That's about as big as they're gonna get. I do find them also on the west coast, but I just think that they're kind of a lovely shell. And a limpet, a keyhole limpet. And it does have that kind of funny tan color. We talked about that last week, that some of the minerals in the sand can kind of stain the shells. The iron oxide can make it kind of a tan color. Now that was a limpet. This is a false limpet. And what's kind of fun about these is they don't really look all that similar, but they're actually closer related to land snails because they're air breathing. So it's closer related to a land snail than it is a sea snail. I find that interesting. This is gorgeous. We don't have the rocks under the water like this, like we do on the East Coast. This is just beautiful. Although it also makes me kind of wonder how any shells end up intact onto the beach after they have to battle all of those rocks. Now, those are the spectral bittersweets. They're really hardy. So not surprised those make it onto the beach. Okay, a turkey wing. That is also called a zigzag arc. Yeah, it's got some pitting and whatnot to it, but I don't know how the day is going to go, so I'm probably going to hold on to that. Sea glass. Oh, and it's all cooked and frosted and rounded. Looks like a little dog bone. That is pretty. That's awesome. Most of the glass I find is the stuff I'd put in the recycling bin, but not that. That is beautiful. And the color of the water. Oh man, pinch me. This is beautiful. So I'm heading north up toward Blowing Rocks. That is a lettered olive. Yes, of course, it is a little bit more worse for wear than some of the ones I can find. Oh, I see another one kind of rolling in the surf. They have a certain look to them when they roll in the water. I wish it was a little roller, like a little queen conch. So this one, yeah, that's a little beat up too. So another lettered olive. So it's possible to kind of pick things out of the end of the surf. I just won't be walking around in there. Again, I like to keep all my bones and ligaments intact. I bet snorkeling here would be really fun. Maybe next time. So I saw a flash of color. Look at that. That's a scaly scallop, that bright, bright orange thing. Isn't that cool? So they are a little bit different than some of the other scallops because they will have byssus threads and they kind of anchor themselves onto a rock and filter feed. So that is a scaly scallop. Oh, cool. More sea glass. I will collect as much as I can. I'm glad that glass doesn't interact with the environment the way that plastic does. And at least sea glass can kind of get cooked and become something fun to collect. So another fun piece of sea glass. Okay, the thorny oysters. They have a couple different kinds. This one is just too worn down, but the color, I just think those like brick red colors are so fun. Yeah, just really neat, a hardy shell. So that's going to be most of a thorny oyster. All right, let's go check. Yeah, let's check out the rack line. I did pretty good on that first beach up in the rack line. Let's see what all is up here. An incongruous arc. Yeah, it's kind of worn down. They're pretty when they're more pristine. They have like little beads on the ribs. Okay, looks like a little ghost crab hole. All right, so make our way up toward Blowing Rocks. Yeah, oh, the view. It's beautiful. And we have a rough scallop. Okay, and a little slipper. I'm a little bit more interested in the rough scallop. Slipper's fine. It's broken though. That rough scallop's kind of fun. Intact. All right, here's another one. That's a little more of a peach color. That first one's a little more in the orange. Very nice. And they're called rough scallops because the surface of the shell actually is rough. It has like little bumps on it. I don't know what else you would call it. It kind of feels it feels rough. I don't know what this is, and it just really intrigued me. I mean, I have never, ever seen anything like it. I have absolutely no clue. Now, it's possible it's from here, but it's also possible that that is a wedding shell. So sometimes people have like a party or a beach wedding, and when they clean up, they leave a couple shells behind. So it's shells from other places in the world that theoretically wouldn't naturally show up here. So it's possible that's what that other shell is. Anybody has a clue? Leave me a comment below. So I've reached Blowing Rocks Preserve. This place is really cool. I suspect if the tide were higher, people would be up on the rocks versus here. And they're not rocks. It's actually Anastasia limestone. And it extends all the way along Florida's coast from St. Augustine all the way down to Boca Raton. And it is the largest outcropping of limestone on the U.S. Atlantic coast. Now, this Anastasia limestone is mostly made from shells and coral fragments, fossils, and sand. Now, why is so much of the limestone above ground here? Nobody knows. The land here might have once been part of an exposed sand ridge or the top of a reef, or for some other reason higher than surrounding areas. So while this Anastasia limestone underlies much of Florida's east coast, it is typically buried underneath soil or submerged underwater. We don't normally get to see it. It's a really beautiful place to visit. Now, this is a giant Atlantic cockle. So that's one of my beach bowls. That looks more like a little beach shot glass, but that's what that is, an Atlantic giant cockle. And a chestnut turbine. This one does seem like it has been hanging out with the rocks for a little while, like knocking around, but it is still a chestnut turbine, just not quite as beaded, not pronounced, all those little nooks and crannies on the shell. Oh, I wish this was in better shape. I'm pretty sure this is a spiny paper cockle. I don't get to find them. It also kind of looks like a simile to me, but I do think that that is a paper cockle. Kind of cool. I wish I could put into words like how beautiful this place is. Oh, I'm just having so much fun. All right, we know what this is. This is a tinted cantharus. Cute little stocky shell. Yeah, that's about what I would expect it to look like after it battled those rocks. Oh, I think that's a little calico scallop, that little orange one. Lovely. Some more little treasures. A little heart-shaped rock? Although, is it really a rock or is it limestone? Oh, cool. Yeah, pretty much throw anything in my path and I'm going to think it's awesome. So I think that's a piece of a helmet shell. The currents here on the East Coast kind of come from the Caribbean, so we can get some really interesting things kind of washing up here. So yeah, all the way out there, things kind of just wash up. So it just makes it this coast a lot different than on the West Coast. And we don't typically have these. Now, this is a giant bittersweet. It also made me think about the decussit bittersweets, which apparently I have found. I have found a whole bunch of them in my collection, but that is a giant bittersweet. This is a kitten paw. I wish it was a lion's paw. Those are a little bit bigger, a little bit more knobby, a little more rare, but we're looking at a little kitten's paw. And at this point, I decided to go have some lunch. I'm going to go back to my car for a second. And I saw a little critter. We have a little ghost crab kind of hiding. That's it. He's just going to hang out. Didn't do anything else. So that was it. I said hi. I went down and grabbed my salad because I was really determined not to eat like a burger or anything. So I did pack my lunch. I rejuvenated. And once that was all done, I got back down to the beach. I'm feeling great for my little break. And oh my gosh, this place is so beautiful. So this looks too fun to not, this is like adult hopscotch. So I'm going to try to keep my ligaments and ankles intact and kind of check out these little tide pools in between these rock formations. Now, I think I see something. Can't see it yet. What do we got? Oh, an imperial Venus clam. Aw, somebody was like chewing on it. It's okay. I don't find them often. I'm going to hold on to that. Imperial Venus clam. I see a piece of one. Oh, that's all it was. Sometimes the rest of the shell can be buried, and other times here, I wish we had met sooner. Okay, shark eye. Yeah, that's a shark eye. It seems to be kind of missing the eye part. So that is a moon snail. Specifically a shark eye moon snail. Many, many shells in the moon snail family. Oh, sea glass. Yep. Lovely. All cooked. Fantastic. Lots of great sea glass on this trip. So fun. So this place too. So this is this is the Coral Cove Park. At this point, I've gone to the south of the entrance, and it is just stunningly beautiful. I'm glad I waited to come here second so the tide could kind of go out a little bit. So I can kind of see this with the rocks or limestone being exposed. It's beautiful. I am being really careful though. Like it took me a while. I really did not want to injure myself because I still have a whole nother day of shelling to do tomorrow. So the tide is really out. So I'm glad that worked out. Aw, wish we had met sooner, Scotch Bonnet. Yeah, you probably encountered those rocks. Got busted up into a couple pieces. Although, to be fair, earlier this morning I did find a couple of Scotch bonnets that were not all busted up. But you know what? It also didn't have to contend with those rocks. Or at least they weren't visible. They were more buried. But this is just gorgeous. So I am going to be quiet and let you have some beach time. Okay, so apparently all the way to the south of Coral Cove Park is the jetty. So I'm going to be able to get to the inlet, and that's going to be it. I'm going to have to turn around. Excellent. Another little piece of cooked sea glass. Sea glass is so pretty. Happy with that. Yay! So that's it. We're here at the inlet. And a couple of signs. This is dangerous. Don't go up here. Not that I really felt like playing up there anyway, but that's it. That's all there is. Excellent. There's water, places for boats to go in and out of the intercoastal. Excellent. I made it here. Let's see what else I can possibly snag on the way back. Because theoretically, the tide will be coming in and perhaps maybe pushing a couple things in. Well, look at that. One of my fancy clams. This is a calico clam. Is that as fancy as the spectral bittersweet, though? That's what I want to know. I don't know, but that is a calico clam. Oh, you cute little zigzag arc, you. So that is a little turkey wing. Like, perfect. Oh, I love the little turkey wings. I think they are awesome. It's another great specimen, a little zigzag arc. Okay, another rough scallop. Excellent. Intact, cute little shell. They're just kind of like there's no rack line here. It's just kind of like, yeah, here, maybe there's a shell. And apparently I'm still enamored by the view, so I don't really care. I'm surprised I even have my head down. It is really that beautiful here. Now that is a slipper snail. Now what I don't normally see is white slipper snails. Oh, that is cool. And that, is it albino? I don't know, but I think it's really cool. So I'm definitely going to hold on to that. So that is a slipper snail. Spectral bittersweet. So I was thinking these must have a very weak hinge because I don't ever see them connected. Is it possible? Is it possible to find a hinged spectral bittersweet? Another shark eye, a little worse for wear. I mean, it's sort of intact. It's probably have a hard time seeing. Okay, yeah, it was a drill hole at some point that probably broke. Oh, and another incongruous arc. So this one's in a little bit better shape. It's discolored with a hole in it. But you kind of see those like beads on the right side there. I think that's so pretty. What else? Lots of those. Okay, here is a giant bittersweet. As I say, lots of those spectral bittersweets. Works for me. Giant bittersweet, very, very nice. They do these, I find, with a lot of the shells. They lose their color once they get bigger. They, for whatever reason, lose their color. Look at how fun this one is. Ah, why does that? I just think that's so cool. So that is another spectral bittersweet and another giant bittersweet. So I've reached the bittersweet portion of the beach. Cool, at least. Oh, a bubble, another striate bubble, a nice big one. And a tinted cantharus. Okay, I definitely want to wash these off. I want to see that bubble. Here's the, okay, it's broken. So I'm not going to keep that. So that's the giant bittersweet. We'll return you to the beach. We have the cantharus, the tinted cantharus. I know it's missing its top, but I like the color. Probably going to hold on to that. But that bubble. So the ones I find don't get that big. That's not quite as massive as the one I found this morning. It's still really, really cool for me. I just think that that is so cool. So that is a striate bubble. Oh, a flat and another giant. Oh, a broken giant bittersweet. Oh, and a broken flat. Those are very desirable as well. Yeah, I don't need a broken one. What about this? Broken. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, a mossy arc. Here's another arc. So it's kind of like the weird cousin of the zigzag arc. This is a mossy arc. They're weird. I love them. Oh, I think that was a crosshatch lucine. And I think... Is that a green star shell? I don't think it's a sundial. I'm not good with some of those, but that white one, we're looking at a crosshatch lucine. You can kind of see the texture. Kind of messing around with it. Yeah, you can kind of, it's got like a certain pattern on the shell. That makes those really fun. The crosshatch lucine. Okay, another shark eye. Yep. Very different over here. They have these shells have a very different experience, I suppose. So they're very different. The shells are very different. Oh, there's another one of those Imperial Venus clams. Now that has that, what is it again? It is sulfur oxide. That kind of tan color. Yeah, I don't care. Love it. I'm gonna keep it. Maybe that's kind of cool even that it's dyed that color. And we have a limpet. Keyhole limpet. Not to be confused with the false limpet. So that critter that I'm holding right there, or the shell rather, that's a true gastropod. It breathes oxygen in the water. Very cool. Well, that's weird. So this is a crown conch. It's a little beat up, but still very obvious that it is a crown conch. And just weird because those animals tend to like mud. And there's no mud over here. Oh, another shell I'm used to. That is a nutmeg. A beaded beauty. It's missing its top. Still fun, right? I'm not going to keep it. I have plenty of these. There's probably somebody else that needs a starter nutmeg for their collection. Yep, we'll just pop that right there for someone else. Right, let's see if there's anything else here that I cannot live without. Probably another giant bittersweet. And I will just, me personally, just because I don't get to find them. So like what, 3 times a year I kind of pop over to the other coast. So I'm going to collect all those really, really fun shells. Oh, yes. I get, yeah, the Imperial Venus clams. Some of these other shells I really go crazy over. Oh, it even had a little hole in the top. Fantastic. It's already like pre-drilled for jewelry. Fantastic. And then there also is a chestnut turban. Yep, lovely. Imperial Venus clam, chestnut turban. Some more treasures from more souvenirs from my time here. It is still beautiful. It probably is really fun to watch when the tide comes in, like kind of crashing against these rocks here. Another spectral bittersweet. I'll pick up some of those stripy ones because I just don't get to get them. Oh my gosh. And so I was leaving and this poor guy is on the struggle bus. Now I am an ambassador for Anchorworks and they sell a umbrella system that is safe because it's anchored. Once you set it up, you don't have to worry about it. They give you a shovel, you dig a hole, you kind of put this bell in, you fill that in, and voila, you have this really cool umbrella. Now I want to show you something, because this is one of the reasons that I wanted to get on board with this company, because I truly believe in it. They tested their umbrella in like a wind tunnel. They literally, and so obviously we don't go to the beach when it's like crazy windy, but it withstood up to 44 miles per hour wind. So if you go anywhere under 40 miles an hour, you're probably going to be safe. Frankly, don't go to the beach. Don't put up an umbrella when the wind is that high. But it is an impressive system. I fully back it. If you were thinking about purchasing something, use code SWF Life and you're going to get 15% off. So I really do think they offer a great and safe product. I don't want to be anywhere near that umbrella once he puts that up. So I did manage to pick up a couple of things, or a bunch of those spectral bittersweets. I cannot resist them. We also have a turkey wing, some rough scallops. There's a false limpet, scaly scallop, crosshatch lucine. There's some kitten paws, a shark eye, some slippers, a thorny oyster, a mystery shell, the lady-in-waiting Venus clam, a calico scallop. There's some ribbed cantharus, cut ribbed arc, the keyhole limpet. There's some of those imperial Venus clams, the giant Atlantic cockle, mossy arc. There's some other colorful scallops, the giant bittersweet, some sea glass, and then my favorites, that big bubble, the imperial Venus clams, that paper cockle, the heart-shaped rock, that tinted cantharus, those baby turkey wings, that mystery, I don't know, maybe it's a star shell in there, that limpet. So it just was really, really fun. I love seeing different things, experiencing different things between Blowing Rocks and Coral Cove Park. It just was such a beautiful, beautiful day. And Patreons, thank you. Thank you for supporting me and making me think I should go do crazy things like this. Not that it was so crazy, but it was really fun. And thank you so very much for supporting me. I could not do this without you. Next week, we are going to hit another East Coast beach, and I'm also going to be looking for some shark teeth. So it's going to be great. We're going to watch the sunrise. I hope you have yourself a great week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.